Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to read Isaiah 35 to 40, Proverbs 3, and Psalm 10. Let's get started. The wilderness and the dry land shall be glad. The desert shall rejoice and blossom like a crocus. It shall blossom abundantly and rejoice with joy and singing. The glory of Lebanon shall be given to it, the majesty of Carmel and Sharon. They shall see the glory of the Lord, the majesty of our God. Strengthen the weak hands and make firm the feeble knees. I say to those who have an anxious heart, be strong, fear not. Behold, your God will come with vengeance. With the recompense of God, he will come and save you. And the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf unstopped. Then shall the lame man leap like a deer, and the tongue of the mute sing for joy. For waters break forth in the wilderness, and streams in the desert. The burning sand shall become a pool, and the thirsty ground springs of water. In the haunt of jackals where they lie down, the grass shall become reeds and rushes, and a highway shall be there, and it shall be called the way of holiness. The unclean shall not pass over. It shall belong to those who walk on the way. Even if they are full, they shall not go astray. No lion shall be there, nor shall any ravenous beast come upon it. They shall not be found there. The redeemed shall walk there. And the ransomed of the Lord shall return and come to Zion with singing. Everlasting joy shall be upon their heads. They shall obtain gladness and joy, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away. In the 14th year of King Hezekiah, Sennacherib the king of Assyria came up against all the fortified cities of Judah and took them. And the king of Assyria sent the Rabshakeh from Lachish to King Hezekiah at Jerusalem with a great army, and he stood by the conduit of the upper pool on the highway to the washers' field. And there came out to him Eliakim the son of Hilkiah, who was over the household, and Shebna the secretary, and Joah the son of Asaph the recorder. And the Rabshakeh said to them, say to Hezekiah, thus says the great king, the king of Assyria, on what do you rest this trust of yours? Do you think that mere words are strategy and powerful war? In whom do you now trust, and that you rebelled against me? Behold, you are trusting in Egypt, that broken reed of a staff, which will pierce the hand of any man who leans on it. Such is Pharaoh king of Egypt, to all who trust in him. They who say to me, who ye trust in the Lord our God, is it not he whose high places and altars Hezekiah has removed, saying to Judah and to Jerusalem, you shall worship before this altar. Come now, make a wager with my master, the king of Assyria. I will give you 2,000 horses, if you are able on your part to set riders on them. How then can you repulse a single captain among the rest, least of my master's servants, when you trust in Egypt for chariots and for horsemen? Moreover, it is without the Lord that I have come up against this land to destroy. The Lord said to me, go up against this land and destroy. Then Eliakim, Shebna, and Joah said to the Rabshakeh, please speak to your servants in Aramaic, for we understand. Do not speak to us in the language of Judah, within the hearing of the people who are on the wall. The Rabshakeh said, has my master sent me to speak these words to your master and to you, and not to the man sitting on the wall, who are doomed with you to eat their own dung and drink their own urine? And the Rabshakeh stood and called out in a loud voice in the language of Judah, hear the words of the great king, the king of Assyria. Thus said the king, do not let Hezekiah deceive you, for he will not be able to deliver you. Do not let Hezekiah make you trust in the Lord by saying, the Lord will surely deliver us. The city will not be given into the hand of the king of Assyria. Do not listen to Hezekiah. Thus says the king of Assyria, make peace with me, and do not come out to me. And each one of you will eat of his own vine and drink, and each one of his own fig tree, and each one of you will drink the water of his own cistern, until I come and take you away to a land like your own, a land of grain and wine, and a land of bread and vineyards. Beware lest Hezekiah mislead you by saying, the Lord will deliver us. Has any of the gods of the nations delivered his land out of the hand of the king of Assyria? Where are the gods of Hamath and Arpad? Where are the gods of Sepharvaim? Have they delivered Samaria out of my hand? Who among all the gods of these lands have delivered their lands out of my hand? That the Lord should deliver Jerusalem out of my hand. But they will silent and answer him not a word, for the king's command was, do not answer him. Then Eliakim the son of Hilkiah, who was over the household, and Shebna the secretary, and Joah the son of Asaph the recorder, came to Hezekiah with a close talk, and told him the words of the Rabshakeh. As soon as the king Hezekiah heard it, he tore his clothes and covered himself with sackcloth, and went into the house of the Lord. And he sent Eliakim, who was over the household, and Shebna the secretary, and the senior priest, covered with sackcloth, to the prophet Isaiah the son of Amos. They said to him, thus says Hezekiah, this day is a day of distress, of rebuke, and of disgrace. Children have come to the point of birth, and there is no strength to bring them forth. It may be that the Lord has your God will hear the words of the Rabshakeh, whom his master the king of Assyria has sent to mock the living God, and will rebuke the words that the Lord your God has heard. Therefore lift up your prayer for the remnant that is left. Then the servants of King Hezekiah came to Isaiah. Isaiah said, Say to your master, thus says the Lord, do not be afraid of the Lord because of the words that you have heard, with which the young men of the king of Assyria have revealed me. Behold, I will put a spirit in him, so that he shall hear a rumor, and return to his own land, and I will make him fall by the sword in his own land. Then Rabshakeh returned, and found the king of Assyria fighting against Lebanon, for he had heard that the king left Lachish. Now the king heard concerning Tirhakah king of Cush, and he sent out to fight against you. And when he heard it, he sent messengers to Hezekiah, saying, Thus shall you speak to Hezekiah king of Judah, do not let your God in whom you trust deceive you by promising that Jerusalem will not be given into the hand of the king of Assyria. Behold, you have heard what the kings of Assyria have done to all lands, dividing them to destruction. Then shall you be delivered. Have the gods of the nations delivered them, the nations that my fathers destroyed. Gozan, Haran, Rezeph, and the people of Eden who were in Telassar. Where is the king of Hamath, the king of Arpad, the king of the city of Sepharvaim, the king of Hanar, or the king of Ivah? Where Hezekiah received the letter of the hand of the messengers, and read. And Hezekiah went up to the house of the Lord, and spread it before the Lord. And Hezekiah prayed to the Lord, O Lord of hosts, O God of Israel, enthroned above the cherubim, you are the God, you of all the kingdoms of the earth. You have made heaven and earth. Incline your ear, O Lord, and hear. Open your eyes, O Lord, and see, and hear the words of Sennacherib, which he sent to mock the living God. Truly, O Lord, the kings of Assyria will have laid waste all the nations and their lands, and have cast their gods into the fire, for there were no gods but the work of men's hands, wood and stone. And therefore they were destroyed. So now, O Lord our God, save us from his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that you alone are the Lord. Then Isaiah the son of Amos sent to Hezekiah, saying, Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, because you prayed to me concerning Sennacherib king of Assyria. This is the word that the Lord has spoken concerning him. She despises you, she scorns you, the virgin daughter of Zion. She wags her head beside you, the daughter of Jerusalem. Whom have you mocked and revealed? Against whom have you raised your voice and lifted your eyes to the heights? Against the Holy One of Israel. By yourselves you have mocked the Lord, and you have said, With my many chariots I have gone up to the heights of the mountains, and to the far recesses of Lebanon, to cut down its tallest cedars, its choicest cypresses, to come to its remotest height, its most fruitful forest. I dug wells and drank water, to dry up the soul with the soul of my foot, all the streams of Egypt. Have you not heard that I determined it long ago, and learned from days of old what I now bring to pass, that you should make fortified cities crash into heaps of ruins, while the inhabitants shorn of strength are dismayed and confounded, and have become like plants of the field, and like tender grass, like grass on the houses, blighted before it is grown. I know you're sitting there, and you're going out and coming in, and you're raging against me, because you have raged against me, and your complacency has come to my ears. I will put my hook in your nose, and my bit in your mouth, and I will turn you back on the way by which you came, and this shall be the sign for you. This year you shall eat what grows of itself, and in the 2nd year what springs from it. Then in the 30th sow and plant vineyards, and eat their fruit. And the surviving remnant of the house of Judah shall again take root downward and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem shall go a remnant, and out of Zion a band of survivors. And the zeal of the Lord of hosts will do this. Therefore thus says the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, He shall not come into the city or shoot an arrow there, or come before it with a shield, or cast up a siege man against it. By the way that he came, by the same he shall return, and he shall not come into the city, that declares the Lord. For I will defend the city to save it, for my own sake, and for the sake of my servant David. And the angel of the Lord went out and struck down 185,000 in the camp of the Assyrians. And when people rose early in the morning, behold, these were all dead bodies. And Sennacherib king of Assyria departed and returned home, and lived at Nineveh. And as he was worshipping in the house of Nisroch his god, Adrammelech and Sharezer his sons struck him down with the sword. And after they escaped into the land of Ararah, Esarhaddon his son reigned in his place. In those days Hezekiah became sick and was at the point of death. And Isaiah the prophet son of Amos came to him and said to him, Thus says the Lord, set your house in order, for you shall die, you shall not wake up. Then Hezekiah turned his face to the Lord and prayed to the Lord. And he said, Please, said Lord, remember how I have walked before you in faithfulness and with a whole heart, and have done what is good in your sight. And Hezekiah wept bitterly. And the word of the Lord came to Isaiah, Go and say to Hezekiah, Thus says the Lord, the God of David your father, I have heard your prayer. I have seen your tears. Behold, I will add 15 years to your life. I will deliver you and the city out of the hand of the king of Syria, and will defend the city. This shall be the sign to you from the Lord, and that the Lord will do this thing that he has promised. Behold, I will make the shadow cast by the declining sun on the dial of Ahaz turn back 10 steps. So the sun turned back on the dial the 10 steps by which it had declined. The writing of Hezekiah king of Judah, after he had been sick and had recovered from the sickness, I said, in the middle of my days I must depart. I am consigned to the good to show for the rest of my years. I say, I shall see the Lord of the land of the living. I shall look on man no more among the inhabitants of the world. My dwelling is plucked up and removed from me like a shepherd's tent. Like a weaver I have rolled out my life, and he cuts me from the loom from day to night. He bring me to an end. I calm myself until morning. Like a lion he breaks all my bones. From day to night you bring me to an end. Like a swallow or a crane I chirp. I moan like a dove. My eyes are weary with looking up. O Lord, I am oppressed. Be my pleasure safely. What shall I say? For he has spoken to me, and he himself has done. I walk slowly all my years because of the bitterness of my soul. O Lord, by these things may live, and in all these is the life of my spirit. O restore me to health and make me live. Behold, it was for my welfare that I have great bitterness, but in love you have delivered my life. For you is the pit from the pit of destruction. Oh, you have cast all my sins behind your back. Your soul does not thank you, death does not praise you. Those who go down to the pit do not hope for your faithfulness. The living, he thanks you, as I do this day. The Father makes known to the children your faithfulness. The Lord will save me. And we will play my music on strict instruments all the days of our lives at the house of the Lord. Now Isaiah had said, let them take care of figs. Let them take a cake of figs and apply it to the boy, that he may recover. Hezekiah said, what is the sign that I shall go up to the house of the Lord? And at that time Merodach Baladan, the son of Baladan, king of Babylon, sent envoys with letters and a present to Hezekiah, for he heard that he had been sick and had recovered. Then Hezekiah welcomed them gladly, and he showed them all his treasure house, the silver, the gold, the spices, the precious oil, his whole armor, all that was found in his storehouses. There was nothing in his house or in his realm that Hezekiah did not show them. And Isaiah the prophet came to King Hezekiah and said to him, what did these men say, and from where did they come from? Hezekiah said, they have come to me from a far country, from Babylon. He said, what they have seen in your house? What have they seen in your house? Hezekiah answered, they have seen all that is in my house. They have seen all that is in my house. There is nothing in my storehouses that I do not show them. And Isaiah said to Hezekiah, hear the word of the Lord of hosts. Behold, the days are coming, that all that is in your house, that which your fathers have stored up till this day, shall be carried to Babylon. Nothing shall be left, says the Lord. And some of your own sons shall come from you, whom you father shall be taken away, and they shall be images in the palace of the king of Babylon. Then Hezekiah said to Isaiah, the word of the Lord that you have spoken is good. Oh, he thought, there will be peace and security in my day. Comfort, comfort, my people, says your God. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem and cry to her that her warfare is ended, and her iniquity is pardoned. That she has received from the Lord's hand double for all her sins. A voice cries, in the wilderness prepare the way of the Lord. Make straight in the desert highway for our God. Every valley shall be lifted up, and every mountain and hill will be made low. The uneven ground shall become level, and the rough places are flat. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. For the word of the mouth of the Lord has spoken. A voice says, cry. And I say, what shall I cry? All flesh is grass, and all its beauty is like the flower of the field. The grass withers, the flower fades, when the breath of the Lord blows on it. Surely the people are grass, the grass withers, the flower fades, but the word of our God will stand forever. Go on up to a high mountain, O Zion, herald of good news. Lift up your voice with strength, O Jerusalem, herald of good news. Lift up, fear not. Say to the cities of Judah, behold your God, behold, the Lord God comes with might, and his arm rules forever. Behold, his reward is with him, and his recompense before him. He will tend his flock like a shepherd. He will gather the lambs in his arms. He will cover them in his bosom, and gently lead those that are with young. He will have measured the waters in the hollow of his hand, and marked off the heavens with a spear, and clothed the dust of the earth in a measure, and weighed the mountains in scales, and the hills in balance. He has measured the sphere of the Lord. What man shows him his front? Whom did he carry? Whom did he consult? And who made him understand? Who told him the path of justice, and taught him knowledge, and showed him the way of understanding? Behold, the nations are like a draw from a bucket, and are counted as the dust of the scale. Scales. Behold, he takes up the coastlands like fine dust. The bone would not suffice for fuel, nor are its beasts enough for a burnt offering. All the nations are nothing before him, and they are counted by him as less than nothing and emptiness. To whom would you liken God, and what likeness compare with it? An idle craftsman, a craftsman cast it, and a goldsmith overlays with gold, and cast it for silver chains. He who was too impoverished for an offering chooses wood that will not rot. He sits on a skillful craftsman, and sets on an idol that will not move. What do you know? What do you not know? Do you not hear? Has it not been told you from the beginning? Have you not understood from the foundations of the earth? It is he who sits above the circle of the earth, and its inhabitants are like grasshoppers, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain, who spreads them out like a tent floor, who brings princes to nothing, and makes the rulers of the earth as emptiness. Scarcely are they planted, scarcely has their stem taken root in the earth, when he blows on them, and they live. And the tempest carries them off like snow. To whom then will you compare me, that I should be like him, says the Holy One? Lift up your eyes on high and see who created these. He brings out their host by number, calling them all by name, by the greatness of his might, and because he is strong in power, not one is missing. Why do you say, O Jacob, and speak, O Israel, my way is hidden from the Lord, and my right is discarded by my God? Have you not known? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He does not fail and grow weary. His understanding is unsearchable. He gives power to the faint, and to him who is known by he increases strength. Yet every youth shall faint and be weary, and young men shall fall exhausted. But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength, and he shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Proverbs 3. My son, do not forget my teaching, but let your heart keep my commandments. For length of days and years of life and peace they will add to you. Let not steadfast love and faithfulness forsake. Bind them around your neck, and write them on the tablet of your heart, so you'll find favor and good success in the sight of God and man. God and man, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. Be not wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord, and turn away from evil. He will be healing to your flesh and refreshment to your bones. Honor the Lord with your wealth, and with the first fruits of all your produce. Then your barns will be filled with plenty, and your vats will be bursting with wine. My son, do not despise the Lord's discipline, or be weary of his reproof, for the Lord reproves him whom he loves. As the Father, the Son, in whom he delights. Blessed is the one who finds wisdom, and the one who gets understanding. For the gain from her is better than gain from silver, and a profit better than gold. She is more precious than jewels, and nothing you desire can compare with her. Long life is in her right hand, in her left hand are riches and honor. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her way paths are peace. She is a tree of life to those who lay hold of her. Those who hold her fast are called blessed. The Lord by wisdom founded the earth, and by understanding he established the heavens. By his knowledge the deeps break open, and the clouds drop down the dew. My son, do not lose sight of these. Keep sound wisdom and instruction and discretion, and there will be life for your son, and adornment for your neck. Then you will walk on your way securely, and your foot will not stumble. If you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet. Be not afraid of sudden terror, or of the ruin of the wicked when it comes, for the Lord will be your confidence, and will keep your foot from being caught. Do not withhold good from those to whom it is due, when it is in your power to do. Do not say to your neighbor, go and come again. Tomorrow I will give it when you have it with you. Do not plan evil against your neighbor, who dwells trustingly beside you. Do not contend with a man for no reason, when he has done you no harm. Do not envy a man of violence, and do not choose any of his ways. For a devious person is an abomination to the Lord, and the hour in his confidence. The Lord curses in the house of the wicked, but he blesses the dwelling of the righteous. To what the scorners he is scornful, to the humble he gives faith. The wise will inherit honor, but fools get only disgrace. Psalm 10. O Lord, why do you stand far away? Why do you hide yourself in times of trouble? In arrogance, the wicked hotly pursue the poor. Let them be caught in the schemes that they have devised. The wicked boasts of the desires of his soul, and the one greedy for gain curses and renounces the Lord. In the pride of his face, the wicked does not seek him. All his thoughts are, there is no God. His ways prosper at all times. His judgments are on high, out of his sight. As for all his foes, he puffs at them. He says in his heart, I shall not be moved. Throughout all generations, I shall not meet adversity. His mouth is filled with cursing and deceit and oppression. And his tongue are mischief and iniquity. He sits in ambush in the villages. In hiding places, he murders the innocent. His eyes stealthily watch for the helpless. He lurks in ambush like a lion in his thicket. He lurks that he may seize the poor. He seizes the poor when he draws him into his net. The helpless are crushed, sink down, and fall by his might. He says in his heart, God is forgotten, and he is hidden his face, he will never see it. Arise, O Lord, O God. Lift up your hand, forget not the afflicted. Why does the wicked renounce God and say in his heart, you will now call to account? That do you see, for you know mischief and vexation, and you take it into your hand, for to you the helpless commits himself. You have been the helper of the fatherless. Break the arm of the wicked and evil. Cause wickedness to account till you find out. The Lord is king forever and ever. The nations perish from his land. O Lord, you will hear the desire of the afflicted. You will strengthen their heart. You will incline your ear to do justice to the fatherless and the oppressed, so that man yourself who is of the earth may strike terror no more. Now that it's done, I shall now do the Lord's prayer. Please bow your heads, our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as you receive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.